the Mind of Basketball Podcast, also known as M.O.B Podcast, episode 71. I am Evan.
I'm Ja.
This is our basketball podcast. We recap, break down, and analyze players and teams from previous games from the previous day. How are you this Friday afternoon, Ja?
I'm cool.
Cordial?
Yeah, keeping it cordial. You know what I mean? It's nothing really much that needs to be said.
That's good. That's good. I'm going good as well. I hope everyone will have a good day. I hope everyone will have a good day.
But if another guest try to ruin my day like it happened yesterday, I'm going to flip. I just want to get that out the way. Go ahead.
Another guest?
Yeah, at my workplace.
Your workplace? Where you work at?
Yo, move on. Move on.
Where you work at?
Move on.
Where you work at?
Move on. Please move on.
I work at the let the audience know. Got to give them some context.
I work at the Botanical Gardens.
Nah,
Yo, just move on, please move on.
You can't do that.
Please move on, don't do
You
that.
can't. No. You're not. I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you slide in, then slide out. Don't do that.
What? Whoa! Time out. Pause
on that. But I gotta let you just bring up the topic, and you can't just pull out like you can't just go out like that.
Yo, bro, just let it slide, bro. Let it be for right now. Next time. I just trust me.
Why you so embarrassed about where you work? You got a job, right?
Yes.
So what's your problem?
Don't worry about it.
As I said, the Bronx. As I was saying, like I said, it's Friday, so make it through the day, and then you got the weekend to enjoy yourselves. But as for today, and as for last night, there were a slew of games around the association. Some of them interesting, some of them not. Let's get into one of the interesting ones. First, starting off with the Boston Celtics and the Brooklyn Nets in Marcus Smart's return, playing for the Celtics, and you can see immediately the impact that he had on his defensive side and also his offensive side. I think he's an underrated offensive player that people don't really think about.
Yeah.
You can see the impact he had, really helping the Celtics a lot, doing the best he could. And the Nets had it. I mean, it was a back and forth fair, a nice battle between two Eastern Conference teams. But where Harden was struggling, because he was really struggling throughout the game, Kyrie Irving stepped up big time, putting on a show. Mark Smart was switching between him and Harden, but no one could really stop Kyrie. And when Kyrie's at his best, it's just a master class, just teaching, putting people to work. And it was a late surge by the Nets and a struggling performance down the stretch by the Celtics, resulting in the Nets win. So what would you think about the Nets performance from last night?
It was simply amazing. Two Eastern Conference powerhouses that one has been struggling while one has been just having hell of a big year so far with their strides. And again, just like what you said with Kyrie, man, the show that he puts on, masterclass, pure art, pure skill, the things that he could do, especially within that third quarter, the things that he was just doing was just amazing. Just like what you said, at his best, you could make an argument for him being the best point guard in the league at his best. Especially on a one-on-one aspect, he most definitely got it. So it's like, this doesn't surprise. Well, this shouldn't surprise anybody.
Agree to disagree, sure.
Well, yes, I know, but I'm just saying, Kyrie's just amazing, and I'm gonna keep it at that.
Yeah, and he is amazing. He's one of the best point guards in the game, one of the best one-on-one players of all time. And you can see that you can't leave Kyrie on the island like that. I mean, even if you double team, he can split a double team.
Yep.
Like he's just amazing when he's at his best. And you saw that Celtics really had no answer. But they still was within the game and he still had a chance. It's just down the stretch. The Celtics got really sloppy.
Yeah.
Like sloppy with their turnovers. Brown had a turnover. Kemba had a turnover. I think Smart had a turnover too. And they couldn't they just they just started chucking up threes, trying to get back into the game. Kind of like they lost their touch, lost their way, and it just broke down down the stretch for them.
Yeah, that's bad basketball right there. When you start to lose communication, focus, and touch in terms of how things are supposed to go on the court, especially down the stretch in games like this, you can't lose that focus. Because as a result, when you lose that focus, you end up doing things like what you just said right there. Start chucking up threes and stuff like that. And it doesn't help you unless if it's going in the basket, unless if you're getting lucky. So yeah, just can't do that. It's bad basketball at that point.
Yep, and like I said, the Nets do improve their record in beating the Celtics. And the Celtics tried their best, down the stretch, trying to chuck up their threes, but they just wasn't going in. They weren't Steph Curry and they weren't the Warriors. And with that transition, the Warriors did play the Clippers, and it
Oh,
didn't seem like they were the Warriors.
yeah, I was going to say you would not want to be the Warriors the way they were last night. That's all I got to say.
It didn't seem like they were the Warriors. So the Clippers, just fast forwarding to that second quarter. The first quarter was a good close contest, but that second quarter, the Clippers really tightened up their defense. The Warriors started to struggle, started to make mistakes, didn't find their rhythm, and the Clippers took that and ran with it through the entirety of the game.
Huh.
That's really the analysis.
Yeah, basically you can end it right there. What a way to come back from All-Star break, Stephen Curry. Like, having a great
Don't
Sunday,
do that.
and then
Don't do that.
next thing.
Steph Curry did not. Come on. He tried. Listen, the Clippers played great defense on Curry. He had to earn every basket he had. All 14 points of his, he had to earn.
And look, well, that's why he had to come back after All-Star break. The way he was shooting during Sunday, then of course that's what he had to come back to. You can clearly see.
Yeah, but this also goes to show like the Clippers really when they're all healthy and when they're playing like great basketball, they are an unstoppable beast. And unstoppable.
Yeah, it's dangerous. But everybody got to be on the same page.
Yeah, and I do think a lot of time they do lose in late game. They need to touch that up, but if they can just get that focused on, which might be one of the most important parts of the game, if they could just touch that upon another limit, that's a championship team.
Yeah, nah, most definitely.
So yeah, that's really all there is to say. The Warriors got punched by the Clippers. Clippers coming up with the dominant win. All right, so like I said, there was a bunch of other games that happened around the league from last night. So anything that you go over, anything that you would like to talk about?
The Suns versus Blazers. This was a really great contest back and forth all up until that fourth quarter. The Blazers had the lead for majority of the first half, in which they just had it going offensively. Well, but they're one of the best offensive teams in the league. You talk about Dame Lillard, Robert Covington, Gary Trent, like just 3-point shooting all around and just finding ways to get to the basket. Like they basically had the lead for basically most of the first half, and parts of the third quarter they had the lead, and then the Suns went on a barrage of threes, fast breaks, transitions. DeAndre Ayton running the floor, like you know what I mean, and Devin Booker doing what he was doing the whole night and being led by Chris Paul. They had a big fourth quarter in which they was able to just basically not only come back and take the lead, but also just run away with it.
Yeah, that was a great performance by the Suns in that, especially in that fourth quarter, closing it out the way they did. Got to be impressed by them. Right now, they second in the West. They really have been proving themselves as, a valiant team in the Western Conference.
For sure, but let's see how long they keep it up for. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, well, we shall see. We shall see. Any other game that you like to talk about?
It's a bonus. Thing. Another, another game I would like to talk about is the Hawks versus Raptors, and this one was kind of weird in which, like, both teams had their runs within specific moments of the game and everything. But I would like to pinpoint that specific quarter in which the Raptors had the lead,
By
and then
two?
yep. Well, not yet. I'm gonna
Okay.
get into it, but
Yeah.
like the Raptors did have the lead, and then the Hawks were down by, I believe, like at least like 10 points, and then the Hawks started hitting like straight threes from that point. And but yet the Raptors also, Stanley Johnson, he hit two big threes, and then Trae Young had a layup, Herter had a three that came up clutch, and it was down 118 on 120. And the Hawks win 120 with 20 Snell's buzzer beater.
Yep, Tony Snell's buzzer beater, closing out, getting a big win for the Hawks, a much needed win for that Hawks, trying to battle into that playing games spot against a good Raptors team. So yeah, I'll go over a few games. I mean, just some surprising blowouts, some notable blowouts. First, the Bucks and the Knicks. I mean, that's not really that surprising because considering how great the Bucks have been playing, how great the Bucks are. But just the stat I wanted to notice is the Bucks defense on Julius Randle, first-time All-Star, holding him to 7 points.
What?
Sorry, yeah, hold on, 7 points. You look like a hater, but
well, like when you come back from All-Star break, like, and then you get locked up like that, then yeah.
Are you scoring on Giannis?
If I was like 6'10",
you could have been 8 feet. You're not scoring on Giannis.
If
Listen, you could have been 8 feet. You're not scoring on Giannis.
But I don't play basketball. If I played basketball and I was 6'10", of course.
Now, if you played basketball, if you were 6'10".
Well, am I lying?
The more you talk about basketball, the more you just comes off sound like a hater. That's all. That's all it is. I'm a player fan. Hey guys, I'm a player fan. I'm a player fan. Yep. As a result, the Bucks do take the win against the Knicks, beating them by 33. Another notable blowout. The Pelicans and the Timberwolves. Yes. The Timberwolves with the worst record in the league, and the Pelicans with an all-star in Zion and an all-star snub, Brandon Ingram. So you can expect that. No, the Timberwolves just putting it to the Pelicans. I really disappointed in the Pelicans sometimes. They get so inconsistent, and I understand that it's hard, especially if Stan Van Gundy, because his coaching style relies on putting in the work and getting practice time.
Yeah.
Getting their system right. But at the same time, everybody else has to go through the same thing that you're going through.
Yeah.
And why are you losing to the Timberwolves? Why do you have Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, and a whole bunch of talent on that team? Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Eric Bledsoe and all of those.
Eric Bledsoe, Steven Adams. You have all this talent, and yet you're losing just so many games that you shouldn't lose. It's so frustrating looking because I know what the Pelicans can be, and that's your surprise team.
Yeah, but let's be honest, man. When you're a young team, you got to go through your hurdles, and I'm not gonna make them no excuses, but just that one. They're a young team; they better get it together because we can't call them young for so long.
Yeah, yeah. It's frustrating to watch the Pelicans play basketball sometimes.
Yeah.
It's more frustrating than the other team I'm about to talk about, but this other team is still frustrating too sometimes. Chicago Bulls, not as frustrating because they are currently, I believe, in a playing game situation. Yeah. And they do play good basketball here and there. But, oh no, now with the loss, they dropped out of the playing game.
Embarrassing.
So, the Bulls played the 76ers last night. The 76ers without Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid due to COVID, and they got blown out. They lost to Tobias Harris.
Wait, which Tobias Harris? Like Orlando, Clippers?
When you have Zach LaVine on your team, it shouldn't be a loss. That's another team. And Laurie Markin, they played a great game too. But I mean, I don't. It's so embarrassing. Some of these losses are so embarrassing. Some of these losses really shouldn't happen. Pelicans shouldn't lose to the Timberwolves like that, and the Bulls shouldn't lose to a Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid-less Sixers team. But I guess you can give some credit at least to the Sixers because the Sixers have the best record, and they're not just they're not just a fluke, and they're not just a Embiid and Simmons team.
Yeah.
But the Pelicans, yeah, another blowout. The Kings and the Rockets. I mean, this could have been a toss-up about who got blown out, but you're gonna have to go with the team that lost 13 in a row, now 14 in a row, with the Kings blowing out the Rockets by 20. And speaking of the Rockets, I guess this is a good transition into the news for today with PJ Tucker and the Rockets officially parting ways. PJ Tucker it's been rumored that he's been wanting to go to a contender. And now he's looking like he would get that wish. He's a great player, much needed role player for a championship team. I feel like he could be a great post defender, even though he's undersized. He's tough. He's a good corner shooter. I mean, he's a perfect fit for a championship team.
Yeah, for sure. You basically said it. There's nothing really much to say.
Yeah, you're right. Don't say it. That being said, it is prediction time for tonight's set of games. Not as much from last night, but still a few. So let's get into it. First, starting off, the Cavs or the Pelicans?
No, Cavs. I'm not giving the Pelicans a chance now.
I'm gonna give them a chance. I got the Pelicans. Let's see if they can prove me wrong. The Sixers or the Wizards? I believe Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid will still be out.
It better be the Wizards.
Got the Sixers. The first primetime game of the night, NBA TV, 8 o'clock. The Denver Nuggets with Jokic and Murray going up against Ja Morant and his Memphis Grizzlies.
Murray and Jokic, Denver.
Yep, I got Denver as well. The Magic or the Spurs? Spurs. The Heat or the Bulls? Heat. The Rockets or the Jazz?
Jazz. Hey, miracles can happen.
Stop. Don't do that.
Miracle on 34th Street. Miracles can happen.
Don't do that. Listen, if Hakeem couldn't close out against the Jazz in 97, this team is not beating this Jazz team. I'm sorry.
Really, bro? You have to bring that all the way.
What? I'm just saying.
You're not lying. But hey, miracles can happen, bro.
When Hakeem said he's going to Dave Robinson's house to get his MVP trophy, why didn't he do the same with Carl?
Because that was MJ's award, man.
Oh, that was MJ's award. Oh, okay.
That was MJ's award.
I'll let Hakeem be. He do got 2 rings, so I'll let him be. And lastly, the last game of the day and the last primetime game doubleheader. The Indiana Pacers going up against the defending champions, Los Angeles Lakers. We got
Pacers.
Going a little upset. Yeah, a
little upset. You know what I mean? The Lakers again, no AD. They going through the rough parts.
Yeah, but I think they could win this game. I got the Lakers.
Look at LeBron picks Sabonis for a reason, so yeah, go ahead. I'm just saying.
I need some size. Let's see. There's a guy that's 7'1" on the team. He has like an 8-foot wingspan, so he looks taller than he actually is. But who's that guy? What's his name? Oh, his pops was Arvidas. So isn't he 7 feet? So based off that, I think I'm gonna have to go with Domantas Sabonis. Listen, I got you, Rudy. I got you, Donovan. Don't worry. All right, y'all. I'll defend y'all.
Rudy's face went like from this to like.
Listen, man, they get picked on. The Jazz get picked on. I'm not for it. I got the Jazz winning the chip this year. Let's go Jazz. I'm rooting for them.
All right, right. Don't get carried away.
I'm rooting for them. I want the Jazz to win. Will they win? Probably not. But I want them to win.
Oh, don't get carried away, bro.
How am I getting carried away?
Don't get carried away, bro.
So I'm not getting carried away, but I like to see the underdogs. They are viewed as underdogs and they have the best record in the league. Imagine that. Imagine if you viewed as underdog and you have best record in the league.
All I gotta say is, man, blowing the 3-1 lead, had an opportunity. That's all I gotta say, man.
The Clippers not viewed as underdogs though, but they did the same thing the Jazz did. Let's go Utah, Salt Lake City. All right, I think it's time to wrap things up. Any final thoughts?
Nah, no final thoughts at all.
Salt Lake City. Well, matter of fact, let's get a little update on these standings before we go. Since we just started the second half of the season. So let's go just real quick. Starting with the Eastern Conference, the number 1 seed is Philadelphia 76ers. Number 2, Brooklyn Nets. Number 3, the Bucks. The number 4 seed, the Celtics. Number 5 seed, the Heat. Number 5 seed. The 6th seed are the Hornets. The 7th seed are the Knicks. The 8th seed are the Hawks. Playing games, qualifiers, the Raptors are the 9th seed. And Pacers are the 10th. If anybody's interested, how many games back between each team? The Nets are only a half game back from the Sixers. The Celtics Heat are tied for games back. So that would be a tiebreaker if the season was to end today. Same with the Hornets and the Knicks, who are also, or both teams are a half game back from the Celtics and the Heat.
Yeah.
And the Raptors, Hawks, and the Pacers also tied. And both of them are a game and a half away from the Knicks and the Hornets. Going down, oh, wait. Just real quick forgot the Bulls are 11th, but they're also tied with them. They are right now out because of the tiebreaker, but the season doesn't end, so they still have a chance. Going to the West now. The Jazz, of course, number 1 seed. The Suns 2, the Lakers 3, the Clippers 4, the Nuggets 5, the Blazers 6, the Spurs 7th, the Mavericks 8th, the play-in game qualifiers, the Grizzlies 9th, and the Warriors are 10th. Suns are only 2 games back from the Jazz with the number 1 seed. The Lakers and the Clippers, both LA teams, are tied. In terms of games back, the Lakers do have, I believe, the tiebreaker based on the seeding. Yeah. Same with the Nuggets and the Blazers, who are also the same amount of games back. And the Mavericks are a half game back from the Spurs, who are 7th seed. The Grizzlies are a half game back from the Mavericks, who are the 8th seed. And the Warriors are a half game back from the Grizzlies, with the Thunder 2.5 games back from the Warriors. So that's just a little update from the standings if the playoffs were to end today. I think it's interesting to look at it, especially since the start of the second half. It's gonna be a battle. It's really gonna be a battle,
especially in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I mean, you really, if your team is not the Sixers, Nets, or the Bucks, the team is in danger.
Exactly.
I mean, the 4th seed could be in the play-in tournament.
Exactly. And whoever's in the play-in tournament could just easily, obviously, fall out right out the playoffs.
I mean, yeah, it's that close in the Eastern Conference. It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But all right, with that being said and all that information out there, thank you guys for watching today's pod. Make sure to tune into tomorrow's podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Also, follow our G down in the description below.
Yes, and once again, I am Evan.
And I'm Ja.
That works at the zoo. And this is the Mind of Basketball Podcast.